She joins us now, sharing her story. Natania, thank you so much for being with us. I can't imagine what you've been through since 1999 and then all the emotions that must be coming up over the last couple of days.
I can tell you that immediately, the moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she had to say, as well as those jurors.
After Jennifer Lopez was dragged into the Diddy lawsuit over allegedly being the gun mule in a 1999 nightclub shooting where Diddy and J-Lo allegedly made a rapper named Shine take the fall and spend 10 years in prison for them, people started digging into her past and it raises some questions.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris, different places.
Law enforcement sources are expecting the feds to widen the Diddy probe to include previous criminal investigations. Now, we know Diddy was criminally investigated regarding that shooting in New York, but I didn't realize the extent of J-Lo's involvement.
Nobody saw this coming. Not the fans, not the industry, and definitely not Jennifer Lopez. For decades, J-Lo has survived Hollywood storms that swallowed others whole. Scandals came and went. Relationships ended, rumors flared up, and somehow she always walked away untouched, smiling, performing, glowing under the spotlight like nothing could ever reach her. But what if the past finally caught up? Because after recent courtroom testimony connected to Diddy's growing legal nightmare, social media is exploding with one terrifying question. Is Jennifer Lopez next?
When she was on the stand, at times she became visibly upset, wiping away tears as she gave her evidence.
It all started when Natania Reuben, one of the victims from the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting, took the stand and spoke her truth. Her voice shook, her memory didn't, and what she said reopened wounds the industry worked very hard to bury. And suddenly, J-Lo's name, long treated like a protected brand, was dragged back into a story people were told to forget. What nobody expected was how fast the narrative would flip. Because now, whispers are turning into headlines, allegations are turning into demands, and online, people are claiming a judge may finally be willing to look.
As we talked about in the first part, there seems to be some misinformation or misunderstanding of what really went down in that trial, what was said, what people were blamed for, what they were not. I'd love to hear your perspective and specifically kind of what you wish people understood about that trial that maybe they don't at this time.
I mean, even from the very day that the thing took place, because if you notice their mugshots, only Shine truly has a mugshot. Puffy and J-Lo, Puffy's in front of a concrete wall, J-Lo is in front of a bulletin board in some old t-shirts. Now, I want everyone to think that was the night of the shooting. You don't think at Christmas time, Puffy and J-Lo went out in some old raggedy t-shirts, right? No, there was already an agenda afoot to conceal what they had on, to try to sway the minds of people, to throw your memory off, but they couldn't throw my memory off.
At Jennifer Lopez's role in everything that happened that night. Not proven, not confirmed, but loud enough that nobody can ignore it anymore. And if even half of what's being said is true, this could change her legacy forever. Jennifer Lopez didn't start as a superstar. She was a Bronx girl with big dreams, a dancer who fought her way into rooms that didn't want her there. People forget that part. They see the gowns, the money, the global fame, but behind that image was a woman who learned early how Hollywood really works. Power protects power.
Real talk, but I gotta ask you, right? I seen a trailer for a Shine documentary that you went in. How did that come about, you being in that documentary?
Well, I was there doing that whole trial with Shine and Puff. Puff said, I hate that motherfucker. Blatant. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
When she met Sean Diddy Combs in the late 90s, he wasn't just a rapper. He was a kingmaker, the gatekeeper, the man who could make careers or quietly end them. And when you're young, ambitious, and standing next to someone that powerful, survival sometimes means staying silent. Back then, their relationship was everywhere. Paparazzi flashes, red carpets, magazine covers. They were the industry's it couple.
Anybody that was there, I know this young lady said Puff did the shooting. What I was told by Wolf himself, and he spoke very little about it, because he had mad love for Sean.
But behind the scenes, insiders have long claimed the relationship was chaotic, volatile, and fueled by control. Then came the night that changed everything. December 27th, 1999, a crowded New York nightclub, music blasting, a celebration gone wrong, 3 people shot, blood, screams, panic, and right in the middle of it all, Diddy and Jennifer Lopez. That night has haunted hip-hop history for decades.
I don't know if he was present with that, but I know he had been hanging around with him in London, in Paris, different places.
One man, Shane, went to prison. Diddy walked free. J-Lo walked away untouched. Or so it seemed. For years, Natania Reuben has said she was shot in the face during that incident. Her life was permanently altered. Surgeries, trauma, pain that never fully went away. And for years, she's said the truth about what really happened never fully came out. But here's the twist. She never stopped fighting. As Diddy's legal world began collapsing in recent years, doors started opening that were once sealed shut. Lawsuits, federal interest, witnesses stepping forward.
Sean caused a lot of that stuff himself. And Puff said, I hate that motherfucker. Blatantly. He told me that. And that's when they was on trial with each other.
Wow, you never told me about that, man. You seen how Flex, he came out calling Sean a liar?
Well, I think Funkmaster Flex has every right to say what he said because he know a little bit more than most.
And when Natania finally testified again, people were stunned, not just by what she remembered, but by who was still part of the story. Jennifer Lopez. Her name came up not as a rumor, but as someone who was there. Suddenly, the questions people were once afraid to ask came flooding back. Who carried what? Who knew what? And who stayed silent while someone else paid the price? Online commentators began digging through old transcripts, witness statements, driver testimonies, things that never made headlines the first time around. And that's when things got uncomfortable. Because according to long-standing claims, J-Lo was allegedly holding a firearm inside that club before the shooting occurred. Again, alleged, not proven, but these claims didn't come from nowhere.
I remember he did what he did to me, and then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy, and he was standing there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. She stuck that glass in me, and after that, my eyes were booked the whole time.
They've existed for years, whispered quietly, buried under PR and time. What's different now? People are finally listening. Some legal analysts online began speculating whether testimony like Natania's could pressure courts to re-examine past decisions. Others went further, claiming a judge might consider issuing warrants or subpoenas tied to unresolved questions.
See on the news saying, did y'all hear about what's his name? Suge Knight? He said, baby, he thinks the reason why Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck broke up because he feels that they had some tapes in Diddy's mansion that showed her in a compromising position. And that the FBI allegedly may have sent those tapes to Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is a white man in America, and he's a very prominent man. They say he's a darling, which means people love him.
Let's be very clear. There is no confirmed arrest warrant for Jennifer Lopez. None has been publicly announced. But the fact that people are even discussing it, that alone shows how fast the narrative is changing.
det så fordi نظافة de la façon au أحسن فإذا ما أنا نظافة تبي في التيجي
And J-Lo's silence isn't helping. Since Diddy's case escalated, Jennifer Lopez has noticeably pulled back. Fewer appearances, carefully controlled public moments, no statements addressing the resurfacing accusations. Fans noticed, critics noticed, and survivors noticed most of all.
She said that they were so exhausting, she needed a recovery period from uses of drugs and the physical exhaustion of the activities at play.
Then came another bombshell. Multiple insiders claim that Jennifer Lopez and Diddy may have secretly married around the time of the 1999 incident, a claim popularized by Jaguar Wright. If true, it would explain why she never testified. Spousal privilege, a legal shield, a strategic move. Again, unverified, but disturbingly convenient.
Said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on to the lighting in the room to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak off, the freak off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
And at some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie express looking forward to these said freak-offs?
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs.
And when you connect that claim to newer allegations about Diddy's behavior with women, control, manipulation, violence, it forces people to re-examine J-Lo's proximity to it all. Was she just another woman caught in his web, or was she protecting him? That question has split the internet in half. Some say she was young, afraid, and powerless. Others say she benefited from staying quiet while others suffered. And the emotional weight of that question is why this story refuses to die. Because when Cassie Ventura testified about being forced, controlled, humiliated, and abused, people started asking who else saw that darkness early on. And Jennifer Lopez was there first. Long before Cassie, long before the freak-off allegations, long before the lawsuits. Which brings us back to Natania Reuben, a woman who lost her normal life that night, a woman who says the truth was sacrificed for fame, money, and protection. Her testimony didn't just reopen a case, it reopened wounds. It reminded the public that justice delayed is still justice denied. And it forced the industry to confront something uncomfortable. How many people were protected because they were famous? How many stories were silenced because the truth would have cost too much? Jennifer Lopez built an empire on resilience, on reinvention, on walking away unscathed. But reinvention doesn't erase the past. And now, with Diddy's world collapsing piece by piece, the spotlight is drifting toward everyone who once stood beside him. Whether that leads to legal consequences or not remains to be seen. But the court of public opinion, it's already in session. And the silence from J-Lo's camp is deafening. Because when someone has nothing to hide, they usually say something. As this case continues, more names may surface, more testimony may come out, and the question isn't whether Jennifer Lopez will be mentioned again. The question is how much the truth will finally be allowed to speak. Was she a survivor, a bystander, or a protector of a powerful man? Only time and the courts will tell. But one thing is certain: the story people thought they knew was never the full story. And this chapter, it's just getting started. So now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Jennifer Lopez is being unfairly dragged into Diddy's downfall? Or do you think the industry protected her for far too long? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video, subscribe, and stay locked in. Because if history has taught us anything, when the walls finally crack in Hollywood, they don't stop falling.